And I'll be starting all that. Let me see who are joining first. So I can see Vinkara joined. Hey Arinata. So yeah, let others join. I know it's quite a late. Usually I do session on 7:30 p.m. But I had to do some more meetings, and I did also have some other meetings. So yeah, that's it. Let me just check quickly who are joining. Okay. Okay, since you joined. And while you're joining, do let me know from where you're joining. And if you have any queries, feel free to comment it down. I'll be definitely go through it. And if I have to if you need an answer, I will definitely give an answer as well. Hey Umang, hey Suman, Tarun, Priyanka. Okay, so everyone looks like joining. Okay, so what is the topic again? I think everyone now joined, so I'll repeat again. So if you like want to become a DevOps engineer, you have to pass the first. I mean, I will tell you the steps. Okay, what are the usual steps if you want to join as a DevOps engineer or any engineer in general? Okay, it's like for every engineer, these are the common steps. First one is that the interviewer will call you and will ask you like what your interest, and like what you want to see your future, like what are the skills that you have, like a gist of your skill set. They will try to acquire, and they have their own SaaS applications. So these days, every recruiter actually used their own SaaS application. Like like lot of how to simplify it for you guys, like ATS application. So you know that you guys send them your resume, or you upload the resume, then the ATS will the automatically will pull your data and try to translate into some meaningful data, like what are the skill set are, what are your work history, what is your name, email, phone number. They will extract and save in that particular application. Okay, and SaaS application, you call it SaaS application or call it CRM, whatever you want to call it, they have some kind of software. Now, and all the communication usually gone through this. They're sending email, they're receiving the responses, all are integrated in that. Okay, now anyway, so first is they're gathering information, then they're they should, if they think that you are the right choice for their team, they will then tell you, okay, wait for say 2 3 days or 5 days. Now, based on their how much they can handle, they will schedule the time and date. And after that, they will schedule the next session, which will be the technical round. So what happened in the technical round, like they don't understand anything anyway, and their engineers also, like they might kind of say that they know about a lot of DS and algo, be it DevOps engineer, be it other things. At least I will say 80% of the companies, be it fan companies or any other big company, at least they will ask you to test via some say hacker rank or say lead code. So this kind of, there are a lot of platform like that, so which is online testing platform, and they have some special integration. So this company like hacker rank or lead code or whatever it is, they will do develop a separate program for these companies. And this company will have this kind of links, specific links you can tell, and they will send you or email you. Okay, and after you get it, you might, if you are a DS algo person, then you might solve it. But if you're a non DS algo, like in cloud solution architect, what's supposed to be there is a DS algo, or as a DevOps engineer, I don't know in which or where you implement it. But anyway, these companies like these days have this kind of requirement, and they do require you to go through all the test. Now, do like, if you want to join that company anyway, you have to solution make a solution in that particular system and pass it, otherwise you will not get it. Sad reality, but these are the companies are using these practices. But yeah, now suppose you got selected, and again, this is what happening, like this kind of the problems are very common, and you can easily get a solution. I'm not telling you to do it, but the solution actually, it's already available, kind of in all the Google, in Stack Overflow, everywhere. So someone, what other people are doing, just simply copying the solution, or maybe like copy paste is disallowed. We can enable it. If you know how to debug the browser, we can re-enable it. We can run a script to enable this. But yeah, that they will do. I mean, that we can do, but we should not do anyway. If you want to, you can, but I will never say that. You can copy the code and you pass it. Say you did that, or you by your own skills, if you have some DL knowledge, you pass that exam. Okay. Then you then the next step is they will call you again to schedule about what are the next stages, or say what is the next uh, technical round will be. Some companies have kind of 5 to 6 rounds, specifically Apple, Tesla, or big companies have this kind of big step. If it's a smaller company, they usually have may or might not have one session, usually have it. Now they will previously what was supposed to happen, or like when I was working in local companies, they call me and we sit down, they ask me, like, bombard the questions. But now is these days you will get a link or session, maybe Zoom link, maybe like any other there are a lot of online conference or one-to-one meeting solution there, maybe Skype, maybe Chime, or maybe Google Hangout, whatever it is. So they will have this kind of a meeting with you, and they will have a already prepared some. I will say not everyone come with prepared, they come with like random question, but most cases the technical recruiter come with the prepared question set. Now based on the which role you're applying, now we're coming to the main point of it. Based on the which role you're applying, they will be asking question regarding that. Suppose suppose you are a AWS solution architect position you are applying. Okay, so they will be asking you about the AWS solution. But if you're a DevOps engineer, not, what is the problem with DevOps engineer position is that it's very vast. It's simply vast. And under DevOps, there are a lot of topics to go through. Just to give you example, you can go through, like, say, what is the Linux, shell scripting, like those are in general. If you're a DevOps engineer, you should know that. So basic Linux question, sometime very advanced question, sometime medium kind of question. Say what could be the example of simple question? They will say copy one file from here and to their particular, maybe the remote folder, and or maybe delete all this content of a folder, or they will say rename it dynamically by shell scripting, like asking for input and whatever the user say the source name, and then again ask for input what will be the destination name, the rename should happen. This kind of small scripting. Those are the normal one, very easy one. Now what are the tough question? Now I will not go to the tough directly, I will say medium question. Okay, medium question is, suppose they will ask you to do some sum calculation, or maybe some calculator kind of thing, or maybe they will say this is a web page or this is the API. Then you write a say skull script, or say wget script, and get fetch the data and print the JSON. Okay, so this is the medium type. Now what are the more tougher one? Tougher one is that, suppose you have log files. Okay, I mean, if you ever work with Nginx or Apache, or say AWS, say load balancer, VPC log. So there are a lot of logs are very common format. So you have the logs, and they will give you some log and will say analyze some, like how many requests they have, or how many requests came from particular IP, or say, okay, or how many let's say particular clients, say Firefox or engine not Nginx, Firefox, or say more say Chrome, or what is the Safari, what is the traffic from, which is the browser engine. So this is kind of question you have to, like, write a script to find out, right? And they will ask you to choose any one particular programming language that you are good at. Okay, this is kind of flexibility you have. If you are good at JavaScript, then Node.js is the way you can collect the data. Now say you are Python programmer, then you can use Python file reading, and then do the, like, array looping and get the data. Now while if you're working on single project is easy, but as a DevOps engineer, sometimes if you know multiple programming, like I face a lot of problem, because suppose someone giving me problem and giving, say, 5 minutes, yeah, the time part, they will give you 5 minutes or 10 minutes, even sometimes 2 3 minutes, like they think you're a very genius person anyway, which nobody can usually, but they want to see actually what, that are you googling it, or are you trying to get the result from Stack Overflow. These are the things they will be looking. So before going to take any technical interview, prepare for it. Okay, what to prepare for it? You can say kind of gotchas that you go to you thought maybe all will be some technical questions, but you never know when they give you. So if it's a big position, if it's a very high paid position, it's very likely that there might be a practical peer coding. We call it peer coding because they will first you ask you the technical question, and then they will say, okay, I have 2 3 questions, you have 5 10 minutes for each question, or whatever they say, and you have to solve me and share your screen so I can see how you're coding. Now what they're checking here is not how can you complete the code and all. They're checking, are you googling it, what is the coding style, are you like faking you know it or not. So I will personally suggest that if you're sitting in a technical interview, from morning, normally it happen you on the evening time or the afternoon time. So I would say in the morning you practice some coding so that you like at least the basic one, how to do the string manipulation, how to do the number manipulation, how to do the some say converting the array, how to loop through the arrays, how to like having in some data structure in say dictionary, and then or maybe JSON objects, there you can manipulate a schema. Those are the common things. If you get prepared, most of the cases you'll be good. Okay, so prepare those cases. Now what are the additional kind of question you might face? They will say that okay, these are the remote files, first pull the files in some single line code, usually a curl code that you can do, or maybe get code, or maybe if you have some other libraries that you can utilize and fetch it. Then they will say manipulate some say you have a JSON, then manipulate some data and store it back in S3 or some other places. So these are the kind of question they will come. Think of that something can be done within half an hour or 1 hour. They'll be asking you to do in 10 or 5 or 5 10 20 minutes. They will be asking that. And that is the mindset you have to prepare in order to pass this technical round. For the big companies, small companies, it's or maybe medium companies, they will be asking you, say if you're a DevOps engineer, first they will start with the Linux, that's the basics. Then they will start with the virtualization, say Docker. Okay, and of course I'll be coming to Kubernetes. I know that is the kind of most common one, but yeah, fine. Now what I will say that uh, the thing is that in the Docker part, they will be asking a question like, they will say a very simple question: I have 2 GB image. Just think very carefully. Okay, I have 2 GB image. How can I make it small? Okay, the moment he's saying 2 GB, you have to ask him, is the source code 2 GB or some data inside this 2 GB? Based on the response should be your next answer. If they say no, 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 it's actual library, not library, say actual code are maybe 500 or 400 or maybe 200. Other things we maybe the OS related. The moment he says OS or the dependencies, then you will say okay, then use Alpine image or multi-stage images. So the Alpine image is very optimized one and which very less size. Even say Alpine image you can reduce, or maybe for other reason you can use multi stages. So you can have development stage, you can have test stage, and whatever binary you finally build, you use that in production version. And that will actually, what you're doing is you're removing all the dependencies that you don't need for generating the binary or the executables, and you use that. Okay, now the recruiter want to hear, not recruiter, it's just technical, you can say interviewer, not the actual recruiter. Recruiter is the only first 2 phases. Okay, then all are the technical persons, maybe the existing engineer, some senior engineer, or maybe some say technical director. For us, when I interview, it may be it mostly the CTO or technical director, team lead. They ask me the question. Now if they ask you this kind of question, you have to make sure you give a very brief answer, not a small answer, not an answer that you cannot explain. So give something that you can explain your logic behind it. Otherwise, that might be problem. Okay, so that's one thing. Now come to the Docker. Also, they might ask you like why to store the Docker. Like I want to run application in say AWS or say GCP or any other cloud. I have local image. Can I run my local image in the cloud? Then you have to think. This is a very basic question, and if you miss that, it's a miss. Okay, so you have to tell the technical guy, that whoever is interviewing, that we cannot run local image in the cloud, right? We have to store that image in another remote resources, so that it will be utilized for other cloud or other places. They will say like, where do you want to store it? You can say like Docker Hub. You can say ECR, or say in other cloud they have on their cloud registries. So you have to tell them. Okay, that is what they are asking for. Once that is done, your most the question will be like, how do you can add local file into the Docker using the add or copy command, how to make some binary executable, or maybe how we can add a test phase in the image itself. So those are the things you have to prepare if you want to get job as a DevOps engineer. Okay, very basic one I'm telling. I'm not going top level. Okay, top question. One person asked me that that's a very good question actually. I have a Go application, and I want to make it only the I want to make it a 2 or 3 MB size. Can you do that? I mean, yes, we can do that. If it's a Go, then only we can do it. We can just make the final binary runnable, and then we can simply run it, and I can generate within 3, 4, 5 MB based on the actual code size. But say, can you do it with the Node.js? The answer will be no. No. For the Node, you cannot generate the binary. You have the npm modules, and generally npm modules are very heavy. Okay, so even if you are not a Node.js programmer, or say you're not a Python programmer, the use cases you have to understand in order to pass these technical interviews. I'm not telling you have to be pro at that. I'm telling just get enough knowledge to prepare for it. Okay, you can just get a sample, code for of say PHP or Python or Node.js, and then Dockerize it and run it. You don't need the logic to how to running. That is running there. Someone showing that is running. There's someone giving you the image. That's it. You check the Docker image. You check how they're running. You run it, and that's fine. That is the way you should be learning all these things. Because for me it was a different case. I started with PHP, like JavaScript, PHP, then Node.js, then Go, Python, all that. But for you might not be the case. You don't have 5, 10 years again to go learn and all that, right? So you have to go faster. Okay, specifically whoever learning the DevOps, all these techniques or say methods now. Okay, because you don't have that much time to learn and kind of experiment. So you get the code from other places. I already have it in my GitHub. Some many places have like many people have their codes and everything like already available in GitHub. If you just look for it, you'll find it. Use that, run that particular application in other clouds, and you will get your knowledge, more broader knowledge you'll get, and you can run that. Okay, now there's the running part. Now let's come to the important part, is that Kubernetes. Man, if it's a very good senior position or say mid senior position, Kubernetes, I will tell or don't tell, that will be there. Okay, it's kind of think that you're going to face the Kubernetes kind of thing. If it's your responsibility in the job description, if it's your responsibility, you're going to face it. What are the questions you might face in a Kubernetes related question? Okay, now first they will ask you that did you work in Kubernetes? Okay, you say yes. Then you will like they will ask that what kind of problem you faced, or what kind of like what do you suggest a Kubernetes solution to other people. Like there are other solutions like ECS, there are other solutions like Docker Swarm, Docker Enterprise. Why the hell you want to go for Kubernetes? You have to have some solid reason for that, isn't it? Then you can say, like say Kubernetes is a kind of container orchestrator. It make the complicated running, like complicated container management simplified. You can have microservices very organized way, or you can see you don't have to care about patching of the system or maintaining all the complicated flows. It's you can manage all that by configuration file, like YML configuration files. Nothing should be manual, all will be by code. This will help us to get single source of truth. So those kind of whatever the thing you get from the Kubernetes website, just read it down loudly. That will helpful. Now after that, like these are the overview knowledge. If you fail there, that's the end. But if you get at least a satisfiable answer to the recruiter, then he will ask you the next question. Now what are the next question? Next question will be how you will, like what are the steps to set up the Kubernetes cluster. Now you mention, okay, I have to need a first a master node, then I need few worker node, then or you can say, yeah, worker node is the you will call. So worker node, then I need to like set up the certification path, then I have to use some configuration set, then I have to like have some image ready to run, I have to create a namespace, or I can use the default namespace. I'm going to run the application like in the particular namespace. I have to write a deployment script. I have to write say service, not service, yeah, you can service a load balance service or other services thing. And all you're doing via code, not manually. That should be your focus point. More automation, more simpler way of managing things, that you have to highlight. Okay, that's they want to hear. They want to hear what are the benefit, what are you doing different than other people who don't know about all these things. So you have to give them the reasons. Okay, now, once you're done with that, they will ask you the difference, like what is the difference between say cluster set, or say replica set, or say stateful on like or non-statefuls, okay, or stateless. These are the question they will ask. Then they will ask, say, how can you run a particular? We have a Node.js application, and we want to run in Kubernetes. What will be the way you are running it? So prepare for it. Okay, if you never walked in Kubernetes, you're damn sure they're not able to answer. But if you have ever able to like, ever walk in Kubernetes, you must have the answer. So whatever the way you learn and you run the application there, just say the same thing. That will be enough. Okay, but if you don't give an answer, or you mumble a lot, that will be a problem. So don't do that. If you don't know, simply say, I am not, like, I cannot remember right now, please move to the next question. But don't steal the recruiter. Okay, the moment you steal the recruiter, that's a negative point. So again, what I'm saying is that in kind of, in DevOps kind of like this kind of interviews, scenario based question ask a lot get asked. Say I have one Go application, and I have like how much CPU RAM I need to run that Go application. Like they'll be not giving you the all the answers. They're not giving. They're saying that I have this much CPU. You have to ask the particular person how much resource I have, how many CPU I have available, how much RAM I have available, how much virtualization I can do, like what are the limits you have set, if you have any, or what are the other resources running. If you ask this question, that means you have already walked through the things, you know the pain point of running things in Kubernetes. And then, like, one of the biggest problem is scaling. The moment you are saying that I can run 10 or 20, whatever, based on the resources, say they will ask the next question. They will say, suppose we get a sudden spike in the traffic, and we want to like scale very flawlessly. Then what will be your answer? You have to say that yes, there are a lot of options there. We can use cluster order scaling policies, and the configuration should be there. We can run in the EKS or say GKE for greater scalability. You have to answer all that, and then they might ask you, okay, good. Then what are the what are the cons, or what are the problems running in the cloud? So you have to get ready. Okay, the billing could be higher. It could be like if you don't set the limit properly, the scaling limits, we might offend too much billing, and under attack we might have some kind of the firewall service enabled. So those are the expectation of the particular recruiter. Now, how I all know all that? I have sometime, just to experience the interview, I become dumb person and see what are the. I try to face the most many or the many questions I can get from a recruiter. Okay, now that is kind of my skill, you can say. But yeah, that's how I do it. So that's how I get as many as question from the people, so that I can summarize and can also, of course, forward to you guys. Yeah. Now if you are say in Kubernetes, you told you like whatever the answer they like question they asked for, you give the answer. They will make a they will ask, say, why I'm not running in the kind of, say, some kind of, say, open I think there are a lot of other people places also, right? They may ask you sometime difference in why not running in the GKE, or uh, not running in, say, on the EKS. This kind of question they may ask. So just know the overview part. Why is the cost, like what is the differences? Cost, what is the resource availability? Sometimes you have to give a very bit clever answer. Say if you have any credit somewhere, will we of course prefer these places. So those are the things you should clear. Okay. Now those are the virtualization part. I told you the Linux, the virtualization. Now what? Now the CI/CD. I mean, you might already excited about where is the CI/CD. I mean, it's DevOps. Where is the CI/CD? So yes, now is the CI/CD part. So what they will be asking about the CI/CD, they will ask about, I have a source code. Right now we are doing the manual deployment, and it's very messy. They will ask you like that. It's very messy. How can we make it more automated? How can we make it less painful for our engineers? And you have to ask where the code is actually hosted. Like if you give a solution itself, you never ask about where the code is hosted, or what are the, like, where your instance are running. Are there any already some CSD you think of? And you have to fetch as much information as possible from the technical person. This is a plus point, not a negative one. You can ask the question, as many questions as you want to ask. There is no shame in asking question, I'm telling you. Okay, the moment you ask that, you will get additional input. Now they say that we have a code running in GitHub, and our application running in, say, in DigitalOcean. Then your answer should be, we should go for the GitHub actions. Because why? We might get we if you have enterprise account, we might get these are the free minutes running, and even if you want to run in your spare machines, we can also add them as some runner in GitHub Action. You can run this. So you have to tell them that, okay. And if they know that we have GitHub, but you're using AWS stack, say the code commit, like code commit is not going to be used there because the code is actually in GitHub. So you have to say, okay, code is in GitHub, but GitHub has seamless kind of integration with AWS code build and pipeline itself. So we can use AWS pipeline with like the source should be GitHub. The build will happen in AWS code build, and the deployment will happen by the AWS code deploy. So you have to tell that to the recruiter. Now, some recruiter maybe not aware about all that. So you have to explain that just like you have the code built in, let's say in the Jenkins, you can build the final artifact or the final deployable asset, you can say. Similarly, is AWS code build, where you can build your images or some binaries if you want to. So it's kind of build machine where you make the final binary or final output in general. Okay, you cannot say binary all the time. You can say final output you can generate or final artifact. So that is what you have to tell to or convey to the recruiter. Then we'll say then the final part will be deployment. Now, do you want to, like usual cases, there should be some release manager or someone like before the production deployment, it should deploy to the staging server or test server or QA server, whatever your use case is. Then the QA or test person should approve the changes, or the release manager will approve the changes. Then only the changes should go to the production like production servers and all. Some might even have pre-production kind of thing. Then the stakeholders or maybe the client or the co-founder check it once. Not the co-founder, say the release higher level managers, they check it, and once they check it, they will forward to, like, say okay, then give approval, and it will go to the final deployment. Now someone, then there will be the last, like not the last question, but it's a kind of very common one. What if there is some problem happening in the final deployment? What will be your steps? Now she's asking about what are the disaster recovery you have planned. So first of all, you have to say, okay, if the database have some problem and all, we have the last 7 or point in time database backups. We can quickly pull the data and keep it running. We might have automation in place. You might say about the for code, if it's failing, it will not even deploy because it's a rolling deployment. Or maybe some say plugin deployment, if the deployment failed, it will have no effect or very less effect on actual performance of the application. So you have to tell that. And you might also have to explain that what are the ways, suppose some reason one region goes down. If it's a big application or enterprise application, it should be implemented or designed that way it can scale multi-region, because might be when the demand is high in other region, you can spin the servers. So for that, you might ask for, like, this is not enough, we might want to integrate, say, some infra as a code part, say Terraform or say Pulumi or say CDK or CloudFormation, whatever your specialty is, because the next question can come from the specialty itself, and you have to think before you answer. Okay, don't just answer it, think before you answer. Yeah, so that you have to answer. So that is done. So you answer all the basic related questions, and they may ask you what is artifact. I'm telling you, but they might not tell you. They will, if you don't use the word artifact or this storage and all, they might like want to hear that from you. So he might ask you what is artifact, and if you don't able to answer that, that's a bad thing. So prepare for that. Then where you can store the artifact, if you know artifact, you told already to them, then they will ask where you can store. So you can say the JFrog, then say maybe S3 or whatever it is. So those are the answer you have to give regarding the CI/CD. Now, in general cases, I have actually faces problem. What I can say, they actually asked me some reverse question. So why not use the Jenkins? Like Jenkins is there. Why you're suggesting me that one? So I'm telling you, see, these are the serverless solution where your cost can be saved a lot. Because whenever there is that you are triggering the build, then only build getting triggered and then only resource getting used. If you're not using that, you are no build. But for the Jenkins cases, it's running 24/7, and if you are not running a build, that's your loss. So uh, that's not a good thing. So you have to explain the reasons behind your selection on your decisions. That should be explainable, that I'm saying. So once you're done with the say the basic one, then they will ask you some configuration management question before going to the infra as a code. They sometime, I'll say 40% to 50% people at the technical interface ask me the question about configuration management. Okay, what is the configuration management? It's a state of a particular machine, okay, that you can manage by the code. Say I want that one application, say it Nginx or Apache or could be Node.js, should be installed in 100 servers. Now, manually, can you do it? Like, to be really honest, I cannot do that manually. Okay, so what I can do, I can run Ansible, say role script and all, and that was installed in 100 servers or 200 servers, whatever it is, and that makes our life a lot easier. What I'm saying is that, or just say you want to some I can say parameter changes or some configuration changes. So think that way. Okay, you have to use some automation to handle that scale of servers. As a DevOps engineer, you should know at least the basic Linux system and how you can manage the Linux systems via the code. And I think Apple has strict requirement for Ansible for DevOps position. Te- uh, Tesla also have it. Even some big telecom companies also using like Ansible these days. So Ansible is in demand. So if you're going for a DevOps position, you must know configuration. I'm telling Ansible because Ansible is the most common these days, but some companies also using Shave or Puppet as well. So, but if you know Ansible, Shave, Puppet are all optional. Now, you're done with the configuration engine, like what should be the state of a machine, what should be the configuration of a particular machine, if you want to what should be the software state. Say you want to restart the Nginx server or any application, or you want to deactivate one particular service, or you want to patch the system, all you can do via the Ansible is very huge scope. Okay, I'm just telling it because uh, you might dynamically manage the EC2 instances in a greater scale using Ansible as well. So look at all these points. Okay, now this is the configuration management part. What they're going to answer, they will ask you around Ansible or similar, whatever is your specialty. In most cases, Ansible, they will ask you how can you develop custom modules, how can we, what are the kind of constraint while developing, say, or how can you develop the Ansible custom modules, what are the default modules come with Ansible. Even if you miss five or like two, three, it's fine, but tell them the important ones that is in particular use. Okay, now what's once that is done, then if it's an infrastructure focus position, okay, if it's an infrastructure focus position, then they will ask you question about say Terraform, or say uh, maybe Pulumi, if it's Pulumi, or maybe CDK, whatever you are applying for the position. Okay, now what will they will ask, that what are the credential, how you store the credential, or how you encrypt or secure the code. That is one of the first, because infra as a code, sometimes what happens that people actually store the credential in the git folder, which is not the right practice. At the initial they may not think of, but it's a big security flop in longer run. Okay, many do it at the beginning, it's fine, but what time we should rectify it. So that is there. They will ask you how can you encrypt it, how can you decrypt it, how should manage the backend, so that any developer working from anywhere should have the same state of the machine. Otherwise there will be resource overlap or resource deletion by accident and all that. That problem should not happen, right? So those are the things you have to tell to the recruiter when they ask it. Now that's one of the case. Now they will say how can you design first solution, and then suppose you have a design or someone else design it, how can you translate that to kind of resource management and all that. You have to say that okay, I can see the design, I know about this cloud infrastructure, maybe AWS, maybe Azure, whichever position you're applying, and I know how to configure, like for this I will use AWS provider, say it's AWS with, so AWS provider and VPN, VPN resource or data model, whatever is the requirement I can use. Similar way with Plumi or other things, how to use which module or what going to import. It's again, it's a very position specific. If it's an infra as a code role or it's a infrastructure engineer role, in those cases this kind of question get asked and you have to prepare for it. Okay, now they might say about how to scale and all, that's very common one. Or how to manage the I think many of you already know, but there is a github. So how can you, like, you deploy the code changes, or like They will do staging first and then production. Similar way, how can you manage the infrastructure? First staging infrastructure, the changes should get deployed to the staging infrastructure, then how it should get deployed to the production infrastructure. And then they might ask you like, one problem happens, and very, you can say, for the beginners specifically, the problem happens. Say you said that the particular need of instances, if you have a work on the auto scaling, you in the auto scaling you can mention what should be the minimum limit, what is the maximum limit, and what is the desired count. Okay. And suppose someone make one change that desired could be lower. Suppose you have some traffic spiking happening, and in the cloud server right now is say 150 instance running, and you have initially in the code you have set desired count as 100. Okay. This is so this is way, right? Now in those cases, if someone like execute that one, then the state might change, right? Now simply think that way, that uh, they might ask you sometime questions. Say you are facing some, say, debugging related issues. Okay. You are facing some Linux problem and all, or say any Terraform. If it's the infrastructure part, then say it's Terraform related problem. So some debugging part also they will ask. Now it's all based on the position you're applying or the company you're applying. Wherever you're applying, they might ask you different set of question. Not everyone will ask you the same question. Okay. And in recruiter, it depends what they're going to ask. These are the in general cases. So whenever you are, so first you already know that what are the responsibilities you have in your description. Then based on your work description or responsibilities, you have to prepare. Like I'm telling, that means you will prepare for everything. No, that's not the right thing. Based on for which position applying, and what are the requirement that position have, you have to prepare for that. Now this kind of question, everything that I have faced. Okay. Maybe if it's for a junior position, or if you are like not applying in that great company, you might face simple questions which you can answer. But in big companies where I've given say interviews, or I've gone like I've tried, so in those cases I got this kind of question. So this is my personal experience specific. It's not like I'm gathering all people's experience and that thing. No, it's my own experience. Now if there will be cases, some companies ask simple questions, some companies can ask tough question. But you have to, but if you do prepare for the tougher question, it's very easy for you to answer the simple one. That you should target. Okay. Now that's it. That was the place where you can, like, these are the points how you can prepare. Now there is one more thing. Sometime, unexpected situation can come. Okay. Why I'm telling unexpected? And it's like that, there are some questions which you might not know, and that actually happens to a lot of people. How to handle those situations? Like I don't know everything about DevOps, to be honest. It's not possible to know everything about anything. Okay. I might miss some knowledge or miss some parts, and suppose the interviewer asking me a question regarding that one. Okay. Which I don't know, right? So in those cases, if you have some clue or some, you can give some past references, it's good. But if you don't know the answer at all, I will say ignore that. Or not ignore in the sense that, say that, simply say that I don't know, because there is no point wasting the recruiter time. Okay. You can just move to the next question if you don't know that. So this is kind of experience you can get. And sometime, while giving interviews, say suppose someone coming and all, you get disturbed, right? Suppose someone suddenly saying something and all, you just get disturbed. So in those cases, I will say don't get disturbed. Just excuse the recruiter. Say someone in the door, someone asking, can I just get and like handle that one, then coming back just 1 or 2 minutes, you can ask like that. And so this is how you should be managing. Okay. Now now what is the kind of cases that, what happens? Sometimes everything done well, but you're not selected. Don't think that you have failed completely or all. So not similar to that. Think that there are other candidates also which just might know better than you, or maybe they think that might be their based on the position, based on the location, based on their skill set, or based on the current status and all. So there's a lot of things are there. So you should not just feel yourself down. Think that I tried my best. I didn't get selected. Okay, could be my problem. You can self-analyze it and learn later on, which I do a lot because it's not like wherever I apply, I get the job. That doesn't. The world doesn't work that way. So I get a lot of rejections. To be honest, what I do, I keep a note of everything that I didn't able to answer. I failed, and as soon as the session comes, because if I do it a lot later time, I'll forget. It's true. Okay, so what I do immediately after the session is done, I take say 3-4 minutes of rest or say maximum 5 minutes of rest. Then I write it down, and then for that particular next 1 hour, I don't think about everything. Later on, when you have more time, I go through everything, and then I try to make my own notes on answers, and then it's why I'm doing that. So of course it's my self learning, and if the similar kind of question get asked in the next time, I should be able to answer. Okay, like the same mistake should not happen twice. You have to make sure of that by yourself. Okay, nobody in the world, they can see, people will be there who will criticize you, will be say maybe encourage you, but they are not going to do the work for you, right? You have to do yourself. Be it good or bad, you have to handle it. That's the reason. Okay, so that's the part how the question that I have seen. Now for junior it might be not that tough. You might see some simpler question like say Linux related smaller question, or say DevOps or CI/CD, like in CI/CD, so storage related, or maybe rest recovery simpler question. Okay, that I told you in the how the question will be simpler. I already told you. So simpler question. But if it's a kind of experienced position or the tougher positions, you have to practice really hard. And for the practicing part, I will say there is Hacker Rank, there is Lead Code. There are a lot of platforms these days. Okay, I think Qualify, some site is there. So those kind of sites are really great for your practice, and you can, like, if you need, what I'll do after the session is over, I will update the links where you can prepare yourself and get, so that you can get past the future technical interviews, and that also help you gaining more self confidence. Okay, because you're passing, you're at the beginning while starting, you might actually fail a lot. I have seen, I tried, I failed a lot of time, to be honest. There are a lot of questions I didn't able to answer. Like I told you, right? It's not like that you know everything. There are things that you don't know, and accept it. What you should do, learn that if you feel interested, of course, to other particular subject, and then, so that if the similar kind of question someone asks, you should be able to answer a bit about that. Okay, that should be a goal. Now I will share all the links after the session in the description section, as well as in the comment section as well. I think that's it. Let me see, a lot of questions on this, so I will go through all the question. Okay, so, and if you want to ask any question, now is the time. Okay, keep going on, and I will come from the top. So I will see whoever first commented. I will answer the question like that. Okay, and I have 15 minutes for that, because I will end the session by 10:30. Now let's see. First question is that, okay, it's Akash saying that how can you answer the interviewer for the DevOps tool that you have not worked with? Like, say I told you, right? There will be the questions that we like never work, then how can you answer? So like bite the bullet and say I didn't work in this particular tool, please ask me some different question. That you have to ask, because the more you steal the recruiter, you have more bad impression of yourself. Okay, uh, okay, it's Aman saying I'm Java developer and how I'm learning. Okay, and now I'm learning DevOps. I have basic and goals. It's good. Now you can see. Hey Sandeep, please tell the difference between DevOps and development. Okay, the development is actually the development of the application, putting all the business logic and make some APIs or services, or maybe front end, whatever is required by the client. So usually a client want to use some service. Say they want to have some ticketing service, or say e-commerce like Amazon.com. A lot of sites are there, right? So I'm just saying sites example, but it could be anything, any application. Could be B2B customer application, or maybe service to service application. Could be anything. Something that is going to be used by other people. The application that you're developing. Okay. Now that application development is the actual development. Like you're programming the application, you're saying how the program should react based on the input, and what should be the expected output of the particular. Could be JSON, could be simpler HTML like for the browser, If it's API, then it will be fetched by the front end application, say mobile application, or say your front end CS, like JavaScript. Say you might use any front end framework or jQuery. In like JavaScript, you can have the say Ajax client and face the API response. I'm just telling you the overview that how the application development is different. So application development is actually developing the application. Okay. Now, what is the DevOps part? DevOps part to make sure that application is actually released to the customer faster, and do anything that is required to make the release faster. Make sure the quality is there, make sure it's smooth, so that developers also can enjoy the process. Like as soon as they're making the changes, that's getting validated automatically, the bill getting generated first, then the bill getting tested first. If any issue, they're getting notified, and then again they're making the changes. If it's approved, like no proper like it's all proper, no problem with the codes and all, then it will go to the staging deployment. Then QA will test it, and if it's all good, then it will be deployed to production. So this is a smooth process. Now think about the manual part. Suppose they have, you have 10-20 servers at this moment, and all the engineers like pulling the code directly like maybe they're copying the code using FileZilla, or they're like pulling from the Git 10 or 20 computers manually. It's so frustrating, so time taking, and not recommended, right? Those all the headaches going to be get away using the DevOps practices. Now, this is not the limited to like DevOps practices are not limited to anything. It's a vast topic, as I told you. I mean, the infrastructure provisioning. Suppose you have 5 instances, you need say 100 or 200, and you need to, in a proper way, you want to make that you want to have full control via the code, that you can do via infrastructure as code tools. So those are there are a lot of things, but these are the things actually help the developers a real great way. And then additionally, you have monitoring to check how the application performing, how your cluster or servers are performing, face the metric, and let the developers know. Let the sometimes the stakeholders want to get some overview of your architecture, application, and everything. You have to give some data to them. So prepare with that. Those are the things that DevOps do. They make sure application development and deployment should happen perfectly fine. There should be quality code that is getting deployed. There should be a feedback loop that all the developers should get the feedback. So those are the things a DevOps engineer should take care of. Okay, so development is where the actual application getting developed. DevOps making sure it is getting released faster to the customers faster. Okay, and do whatever thing in between required to make this possible. Okay. Oh, okay, sorry. So anything saying that, I mean, which is better? Hmm. Both are equally important, to be honest, because if there is no application, then what to deploy? And if you don't have a proper way to deploy it, then there will always there should be frustrations between the developers, and maybe the owner also is getting not release faster. They are not able to market product faster. So both are equally important. Okay. I think this part, SRE and DevOps, you just go to, like, I will suggest, because I have already answered a lot of videos, you can go and check past videos. In general, DevOps is very vast, and SRE is actually a superset of DevOps, kind of good DevOps practices. Okay, then addition to focus on the reliability. From the name, you can say, like, site database engineer. So make the website or your solution more reliable to the customer, so that you have everything planned. If something it's like going down, there should be a proper process in place to make sure that it never goes down, or it should go put back automatically. See, all are part actually DevOps, but you are more focusing on the reliability in SRE. Okay, that I can say in simple words. Can you explain the day activities of DevOps engineer? No, that's very vast, because there will be a lot of positions for DevOps. Could be say infrastructure engineer DevOps. There will be monitoring DevOps, the test specific DevOps positions. So based on the position that you're applying, the definition of your task responsibilities changes. So for development specific, I will say you have in general, you make the CI/CD for application. You do the soft the cloud resources creation, deletion, and everything, like all the management by code like Terraform. You have the monitoring in place using different tools, and there's the feedback loop going through from very developers to the operations team, and you're managing all that. So those are the kind of, you can say, common responsibilities. Now it all actually changes based on the requirements. If you want to know what should be or what are the real responsibilities, just look at the different companies job responsibility. They will say, like, go to one end, like go to indeed.com, go to LinkedIn jobs, you will see a lot of job description. They're already explaining what should be your day-to-day responsibility, so you can refer to that. That will be even better option. Okay. It's Yamuna saying that do you provide those classes? At this moment, is not possible. I was giving actually, but the thing is that I have a newborn baby, uh, and my health is also not that great these days. I just had some viral fever and all. I got recovered a bit, so that's the reason I'm not doing. But maybe after a few months I may start, but it's not guaranteed. Okay. Is that Shubham saying that, hi sir, I got two offers as a DevOps engineers. Great. For which I should go, and how should I select? First thing, what is the position? Okay. Like, what is the more focused part? If it's more development focused in general, is good, because you get more better position later on. If it's operation specific, then you might not get that kind of exposure to other good opportunities. So go for the uh, development specific ones. Okay. Of course, the salary plays a very big role. So whichever company is giving you better salary, better, not just the salary, also there is some, you can say, uh, more additional perks, you can say, like say health insurance, your say car electricity bill or home bill, your, if there is any car requirement for the traveling, then car expenses. So which the company is giving all the facilities. Sometimes food also. If you're a bachelor person, then the food also is good thing as a perk. If you're married, then you might want to take tiffin from home. So whatever it is, so see what are the most perks, what are the future position you might get, accepting the current position. Think that way. Which you have the most exposure, more the compensation, and more perks, you go for that way. Okay. Can a fresher get a DevOps role? Actually, yes, I have seen a lot of freshers getting DevOps role, but yes, you must have a lot of skill set. Since you don't have experience, so you have to compensate with very great skill at the different tools and technologies. So you have to make sure that. See, that's Argo saying that yes, freshers role also yes, true. I'm facing issue switch from DevOps role to everyone asking for experience on DevOps tools. Yes, as I tell you that if you don't have like DevOps general experience, you should have some demo project. You should have something to show to the recruiters that okay, I did this or I did that. You can explain about that. So yes, if you, even if you don't have the experience, you should have very good knowledge about those tools, so you can explain that. Okay. How I need to, okay, this is just saying that I need to switch to DevOps role, but not getting. Yes, so for getting opportunity, you have to like, it's not like that will come to you. You have to keep applying and applying. Make sure that you have the proper credentials, proper knowledge, proper tool sets, experience. Like I say, if you don't have experience, then at least the knowledge of a tool should be very good enough. So, and you apply via different job portals, say LinkedIn jobs, very good section, Indeed, Monster. There's like lot of websites over there, right? You apply and try to get it. It's not like it will go and come to you. You have to reach out to the job providers. Okay. Thank you, Mohit. Uh, thank you, Vishujia. Okay, and thank you, Harsh also. Digvijay Gore saying that I'm Red Hat Ansible certified, also know all DevOps tools, and now pursuing third year of engineering. It's good. So my question: how to apply for internship only for Ansible role or whole DevOps? So go to all the top companies as well as good companies career site. Sometime I would say they have a specific section for the intern. So if you're an intern, they have some kind of specific section for you, and apply by that. You have higher chances of getting those. Say Apple have a section, say Tesla have a section, say AWS have a section just for your particular interns. Even Google also have it. So all big companies have it, all medium companies also have it. Try there. Okay. Thank you, Hers. Is that how to answer the scenario based question? See, the scenario based question they ask you because they want to test your experience. Like to give some scenario based question answer, if you don't have proper experience, you will feel not that confident to answer, and that's what they want to check. They want to filter you out. If you are not that great, if it's a senior position or it's a mid senior position, if you don't have a particular experience, like any experience on a particular topic, they don't want you on the team. That's their goal there, to ask you a question. So you have to prepare for it. If you have to practice a lot so that you can answer for that. Okay, there are a lot of side, as I said, hacker rank, and there are a lot of, in Udemy also there are a lot of practice questions set. You can go through that, and that will be definitely helpful. Okay, thank you, Sajal. It's a great comment. Thank you. Difference between, I already told, it's a very vast one. How much resources required to switch from DevOps to DevSecOps? See, what is the additional thing in DevSecOps? So, as a DevOps engineer, in general, we take care of the security. It's not like we are making it like very faulty. It's like accessible to everyone. No, we don't make solution like that. Nobody want to make solution like that. What it's saying, that you give some extra focus to security. So from the top to bottom, security will be very important component of your design that they're asking. Like, it's not like you're not giving any care. You're caring, but just care a bit more. It is DevOps kind of position. So what there will be, like, what are the tools and technologies you are focusing, how you are checking that the image that you're, let's say, Docker image utilizing is proper, have no kind of problem, or so no let's say no malware, or say no attack algorithm there. So you have to scan the images. Similarly, the cluster utilizing, say, your the operating system utilizing, is it properly patched, is it some like malware or some kind of malicious software are there, how you are taking care of that, nothing should be there, how you're isolating application code and everything from this operating environment. Those are the things you have to take care specifically for the DevSecOps. Okay, that means you have to focus very strictly on the security parts. Thank Rajneesh. Okay. So without Groovy script, we can't learn pipelines in later projects. The thing is that, see, Groovy script, when you're talking, that means you're talking about the Jenkins. So yeah, in Jenkins, I will not say it's like entirely not possible, but if it's very complicated one, a lot of use cases you're handling and all, very dynamic in nature. The problem is very dynamic in nature. Then you can handle, like, you cannot handle by the normal descriptive way. You have to use Groovy scripting. But if it's very simple, or say, I would say complexity and medium type, you can still handle that particular pipeline implementation via the descriptive way. Okay. So, what is the differences between the continuous delivery and continuous deployment? So, continuous delivery, say you have your source code, some developers making the changes, and after that, the change is getting built. After the build is getting tested automatically and is first getting deployed to staging. If the deployment staging is completely successful, it will automatically deploy to the production service, or yeah, production service. And what is the continuous deployment? That same thing, like, you are making any code changes, going to the, like, build is happening first, then the build is getting tested, and that change is getting deployed to the staging server. But there is a twist there. One release manager or someone will be there to verify the solution, check the quality and all, then approve it, and once the approval happens, then only it go to the production. So for the difference between the continuous delivery and the deployment is that in continuous delivery, there is no manual touch, nothing. But in the continuous deployment, there is a manual approval required. That is the difference here. It's Fashion saying that, does Fang have roles in India? Yes, they have it, and they are actively hiring. Amazon is hiring like crazy. You can apply from different, even their personal websites, or in the LinkedIn also. You can apply for that. Yes, Meta also doing some hiring. Google doing hiring. Even for the international positions also, they're doing hiring. You can do that. Okay. DevOps is not position, is it's development culture. Yes, you said in one line which I explained and give too much effort. Good, good. So, sir, DevOps में project कहाँ से choose करें? For DevOps, you can see, you have to look at the companies. Look at the companies that they're doing. Those companies are the best example. They have different kind of solution agree. So what I would say, look at their job description. Any company, like good one, you want to know how they're doing something, just look for their career side or say other side where they were wherever they're host like posting the job description. They will exactly say what they're doing and want you in their team. Practice that. That will be better. Okay. I think this is also good answer maybe. So Aman Kumar says that they might have a culture, but I wanted to ask, okay, do they hire for those positions in India? Because okay, I don't know which one. I forgot. So okay. Uh, okay, here's that Ravi Teja that's saying, but configuration will not done every time, right? It's a rare case when you want to set it up. So no, it's see they will. It might be the rare because yes, that's true that configuration not getting changed every single day or hour. It's rare. I think not also rare. It sometimes happens. Sometimes you might want to regularly check the patches and all. So yeah, maybe per day also you can run the your roles and civil roles and all. They will ask, okay, if it's a very medium or big company, Ansible, most of the cases they might be using. Yes, again, check their stack, check the job requirement. If it's saying they're using Ansible, that means yes, they're Ansible. In the technical interviews, they will be asking you the Ansible question. If it's like they're not even mention a single word of Ansible, then they might not be not using at all. Okay. Um, Then it's it. How your Dada? How is the little business? She is doing really great. I actually am missing right now. I'm not in my wife's house. My wife and child in the that house. I came here just for the weekly cleanup and all. Tomorrow I will again go back there. So yeah, she's doing good by the way. What is the minimum skills required to start as a fresher in 2022? I will say the basic thing. First one is the Linux skills. Then shell scripting one is very important because most of the cases deployment you want to utilize that. Any one backend programming language, be it Python, be it Java like JavaScript, Node.js, be it say Go. Okay, that's also a great choice. So any one a particular backend programming language, then learn about the CI/CD. Like say, oh, before even going for the CI/CD, one cloud you should know very good way. Like say AWS, Azure, GCP. I will not again personally suggest something because all are great cloud, all have good opportunities nowadays. Based on you try the three, you see what you're more comfortable or your personal liking, then that one you should pursue further. Okay. Now after you're done with any one leading cloud, then you do learn about the DevOps tool like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, say, or maybe AWS specific, like say AWS code pipeline, code maybe code build, or maybe Azure one if you have interest in Azure, so Azure DevOps, like Azure pipeline, Azure depot, whatever stack they have. So that's the way you should learn it. Now the final part I will say, not final, I will say the more toughest one will be to work with the infrastructure as a code part because it's not easy. Even if it sounds easy, even if you think it's easy, but in the real world, it's not easy at all. Okay, I'm not scaring other people, but you don't know the business case. You once you get the business case, then only you can say it's the easy or the tough one. So even if you think okay, it's a very simple one, I can do like this. No, you have to consider a lot of cost, architecture, the solution impact, who are going to use it, lot of things are there. Okay, how are you gonna manage it? There are some crazy requirement you just start sometime very easily, then it become crazy later on, so you don't know. So think very carefully, then make the solution kind of thing in the infra as a code part. So after you cover all other things, all the skills I said, then you focus on the infra as a code using say now all clouds have their own way of making things dynamic, making all the resource dynamic. But I would say learn a common way like Terraform or Pulumi that will make your life easier, and you will get more opportunities as well. Sandeep, thank you. Okay. It's saying that I'm new to DevOps. How can I prepare? Just like I just answered, that have those skills, then practice through a lot. Like HackerRank is really great place for practice. Lead code is there for practicing the coding skills. Then we go to some other places. Give what is the best way I would say, give interviews. That's what happens. Sometimes also I get rust, to be honest. And very honestly, I'm saying I also get rusted. So whenever that happens, I apply for different position. Uh, Most cases my preference freelancing. Sometimes I want to like this time I want to just checking out just you can say the foreign position also. I might get it or might not get it. If I'm getting it, I'm expecting it to be very good money. Otherwise, there is no point living to other country with less money. So of course, I'm not interested in that way. Yeah, whatever it is. So uh, what I'm saying is that there's a good practice also. Even if I'm say I'm applying for a lot of positions, even if I'm not getting selected, but I'm getting enormous amount of knowledge of the process. Like different company have different processes, different company have different questions set, different companies have different challenges. When you go through and you practice all that, the knowledge you gain through all that is huge. It's not measurable in the money itself also. So that's, treat it as a practice. Don't treat it as a failure, don't treat it as a waste of time, because most of the people, they treat that as a waste of time. Should not. Okay, treat those as a way of practicing things, way of learning things more. You'll find out you lack a lot of places. I actually find out the places I lack a lot. And what I do, I keep a note of that. I try to find out some time free whenever I'm getting time. I just simply run, like, go through Udemy, say Cloud Guru or YouTube for the courses, and I follow that. So you can do the same way. And the point here is learn more, prepare yourself more for the next success. Use your failure as a step toward that success. So you can find out your own drawbacks. Okay, you should do that way. Now, it's Kishore saying that what are the preconditions to get freelancer work? See, there is no such preconditions. Only thing is that clients like, they have, if the client have the budget, they will look for the greatest freelancer. They don't worry about the money amount. They want the product or the solution to be really great with quality. But if it's the cheap, or maybe they're like starting with very less money in the budget, they will look for the cheap worker, and they will look for the even less experienced people. So based on that, you have to try for the, if your experience less, then you have to target the low budget projects. If you are already experienced a lot, and let's say a lot of experience, 5 6 years or maybe even more, then you should go for the high paid opportunities. Okay, so there is no such restriction and thing. Getting the project and getting the client is the most toughest thing. But if you have goodwill in the market, people have a lot of people work with you, giving some good review. Like I have my clients giving review in my LinkedIn recommendation, people may find it interesting. So these are the way that you can gain trust of people. You have delivered something that also make your work very worth and valuable. So those are the way you can get those clients will suggest other their friends and families about you, that I work with this guy and he make this good solution. He charged me very, like, okay, like win-win kind of situation. I'm gonna, like, whenever I'm going to make next project, I'm gonna hire this guy. The lot of old client actually still working with me. They're in touch. Sometimes they're coming a smaller tag, or maybe they're booking hourly basis, 2 hour, 3 hour in a week, and that way also I'm getting a lot of money. So that trust they have, that's the reason they're reaching out again, and you're working together. So that trust you have to manage while working as a freelancer. Trust is a very important thing. Miscommunication avoid as much as possible, because most of the cases miscommunication happen because those person might be sitting miles, like thousands of miles away from you, not seeing your expression, not seeing how you're feeling, how you're working, what are your current status. You might go into a lot of stress. You have to convey that. I'm in some kind of bad situation. The project might get delayed, so you have to let them know. If you don't let them know, you know what happens. They will just go through other service provider, right? So you have to make sure all that. Now, Aman saying that I'm a Java engineer with understanding DevOps, how to switch to DevOps engineer. So, if you have good understanding about Azure DevOps and all, as I tell the basics, I think you are already listening. So, the basic skill you should learn: Linux, then the shell scripting, then the any particular cloud. You already know the Azure, so it's good. Then the CI/CD tool like Jenkins, another thing Ansible, all other configuration management and infrastructure code tools. Then you can find a job very easily. Okay, since you're in the Azure DevOps, so focus on Terraform plus Azure, CI/CD, pipeline creation, everything. By that, okay, you'll get an opportunity better way. Now, what is that question? Uh, Ajay Kumar saying that best way to prepare for AWS Solution Architect Associate. Mike, the Michael Gibson, or I call him Mike. Mike had really good courses, very good courses in his YouTube channel. Andy is another great friend, has free courses in Free Code Camp, which is loved by millions of people. Go there. Uh, in Udemy also, there are a lot of great courses. Uh, so you can just go there. So you have all the resources that you need. Just go there and pass the exam. Okay, you have to put effort. So if you put effort, you'll definitely pass. Any certificates required for DevOps to freshers to start in DevOps? You can go for the AWS that CSOP certification or developer certification. Best will be, I will say, the DevOps Pro certification. But if you are just fresher, there will you need, what can I say, a lot harder effort to pass that DevOps Pro certification. Because for me, it took me 2 hour, 2 year to pass the DevOps Pro certification with all the knowledge, experience all together. Then only I was able to pass. But it was not easy. I got, I think, 90% kind of thing, but it was not easy. Okay, because of this, I tried. First time I got very cheap or very poor skill, this percentage of grade. But then I keep trying, keep learning things, keep trying and trying. After 2 years, I'm become so confident. I give the exam in the DevOps professional, AWS DevOps professional exam, and I pass it in one. I think I ended my exam 1 hour, like already 1 hour remaining, but I ended it because it's good. I mean, I already practice. I know the use cases. It was easy. So you need a lot of practice, a lot of dedication. You can pass. I will not suggest you can go for the DevOps Pro because that's costly also, 30,000 rupees. Too costly. So first go for the, say, other, like, to know the DevOps tools and all. Certification part, sysops will be enough. Okay. Or if you're Azure, then Azure also have some kind of DevOps specific certification. You can go for that. Okay. Load balancing is possible in Jenkins. Yeah. Normal cases like you have your master nodes there, and which will be running the load. You're not going to run your workload or the build process or build jobs in master node. You're going to do that in any agent or worker node. Okay, I think I told some forum, maybe it was builder forum, about slave, because I knew that I learned in the 2016 time, right? So, and someone like started firing me like, why are you using that word? Why are you using that word? So yeah, just for the agent part, you can say it's the agent. So you can have many agent running in, say, many cloud servers. So what you should be doing, uh, run the job in master, like configure in master, and then use the cloud instances to run it. And as soon as you're done with the build and the result is passed to you, or like stored in some place, and you have the reference in the master, then you, like, automatically the instance will get deleted. Use, I already have Jenkins very good contents in my channel. You can refer to that. Okay. It's Anand is saying that which are the best companies to start DevOps career in India? Very good question. Okay, I will say Hotstar is one of the best company, to be honest. Maybe I had a secret kind of wish to work in that company, but I don't think that's possible, um, for many reasons. But I wanted to be honest, one point of time. So that's a very good company. AWS is of course really great. I mean, they have dedicated teams for, Amazon have it. AWS is their sister concern, so the sister firm. There also you get a lot of good opportunities. And other than that, Google also have very good opportunities in the ops field, mainly in the infrastructure engineer part. They have really good positions. Then they have Bercelis, then you have like in general companies, TCS, a lot of other companies as well. What you can do additionally is that look for the any clouds specific, say, DevOps partners. AWS have the DevOps partners, GCP have the DevOps partners, Azure also have it, and target those companies because their most kind of focus is the DevOps migration or the implementation. There you can find really good positions. Okay, that we should target because there are a lot of companies to name, and if I start naming, the session will be over just by the name itself, right? So that's how you should just go through and check it. So many people want to switch from system and DevOps profile. Please give your suggestion, explanation, like LinkedIn. See, if you are, there are many positions in AWS and other places also. They want system engineer, like system administrator, DevOps. So the roles actually more focus in the system management and system administrating, but some touch of DevOps related tasks. So that you can target, so that you get the some DevOps of you are doing. Later on, say after 2 years or 3 years, you can move to the complete or say pure DevOps box. Okay, that you should target. And again, since you are a system admin, so you have already great skill at, say, Linux and shell scripting, which will be very useful. And then you learn what are the missing skills. I think I'm already telling from the beginning what are the skills required. So learn that. I in LinkedIn also. If you're not following me, follow me. I most of the time I give like I write article about DevOps and all. And in the my article list, we go there is a DevOps roadmap. You can follow that one. All the learning resources also mentioned there, so you can refer to that. DevOps is what, so what you should focus on majority. So yeah, DevOps is really, as I think I told in this session also, DevOps is really vast, and it have variety of tools for different use cases. What you have to do, you have to look for the commonality. So look for the job sites or different good companies job site. You'll find the key technologies those company are asking for, or the roles they're seeking this kind of skills. Those are the ones you should be applying for. So the basic skills, say Linux, say scripting, one backend, any backend programming, language knowledge for the automation writing, um, Jenkins, say Ansible, Terraform, Cloud, AWS or Azure or GCP. So those are the things that require. Okay, this I have seen. I have gone through. I think I can't even not count that many roles, like uncountable roles, in last few months, just to find out the trend and all. You can also do the same thing. And I already told you what is the trend, right? Now it's not true. I mean, it's actually not true. Groovy scripting, what? Like any scripting you do, uh, I'm telling in general. So Groovy scripting actually for only Jenkins pipeline, but other build system also they have indicated. But it's not like it's the only way to run the real-time project. And there are many real-time projects I've seen they're using the descriptive pipeline. So it's not that. But it's a good thing to learn, I would say. It's a good thing to learn for the some projects. Suppose in Groovy scripting you have, and you don't know the Groovy scripting, then that opportunity you might miss regarding due to that, right? So you should not do that. You can learn it. Okay, so then the resume you have shared here is ATS compatible. Other ATS experts say to avoid any graphical resume. Does Indian companies uses ATS or app like short resume? It's actually not true. I tried my resume that one in different places and it got selected in the, and I know which company uses the ATS because the recruiter mentioned that as a skill and they're utilizing the software and all. I checked that. Even where I'm generating, I'm actually generating from where in the Novo resume, right? And they also claiming that is completely like particular to ATS compatible. Many Indian companies use it. I don't want to name them, but yes, many Indian and of course out of India companies also use the ATS. Okay, because see a lot of applications. Sometimes for smaller or medium companies, even the larger companies also, it's not possible. So it's yes true. So most of the companies these days use the ATS. Okay, but yeah, it's completely compatible. Even some ATS experts say because those ATS experts also use Novo Resume, Kickstarter Resume, this kind of site to generate the resume. So they're claiming, but they're using that service itself. Does 2.0 years you will know all tools in case get into DevOps? It's based on the works you did. If you have work on many projects, you work day and night. Of course, why not? Hi Sandeep, how can we describe a DevOps engineer and a side dev engineer? As I said, DevOps is more of a very broader role, but site engineer, you can the name itself is saying site reliability. So it's very focused on like making site reliable, making sure that it follows that kind of DevOps in more practice, you can say. Okay, I will suggest there's a book by Google. I think let me just search for it because every time there was going to everyone asking, so I will think it's better. So Google SRE book, and then everything already they have, and I don't need to say anything further. So I have already given the link in the comment section. One want to get the difference, first read the book, it will be crystal clear. Okay. Hmm, could you okay, it's actually saying that thanks for the session. Just one question I have, could you please let me know, is there any resource from I can get ideas, canary or specific level question of Kales, Docker, CI/CD, Grafana? Yes, as I said, there are a lot of website that test your capabilities, right? So like, and then some competition also going on like Tech Geek, Hacker Rank. There are a lot of like this kind of sites where you can find. huge number of questions into DevOps, or even you can just Google it, DevOps Q&A and all that. You'll find a lot of questions. Okay. Mm, is there any freelance online company where you can get experience? Please suggest freelance good online. See, there are very good freelancing companies in India itself also, like Turing. I'll say that's Turing. I find is very good. Other companies, in the sense, you can go for any freelancing site. Upwork is there, and freelancing.com is. There's a lot of freelancing sites are there. Now, local companies also there, mostly in the Bangalore and Chennai, and yes, some parts of Hyderabad also. You have to look for them. Okay. Now these days, actually, what happening? Most of the companies giving you remote, and if you work for longer term, you can switch from either, say, from like as a employee to as a contract based and all. You can move like that. As a beginner, where I can practice, as I said, I can rank, lead code, and all the sites that they're use utilize them. Qualify.com is also there's a good one. Project, okay. I think it's near. I mean, I talked about 10:30 due to the volume of the question. I think okay. Let's see how many I can cover. Now I'm being selective and selectively. Okay, looking at that. So this is saying that I'm working on system engineer from past 4 years. Want to switch to DevOps, start learning DevOps, but concern is that interview asks your experience, but I don't have any. And that is while talking in the session also I told that sometime you will see this kind of question while you don't have the experiences. You are not even telling them you have experiences, right? You're telling the tools and all that. So if it's related to tools, you should also practice candidate based question different website I told you. But mainly learn this DevOps tool that they're saying they're gonna cover. I think in the job description you're seeing that. Practice them well so that you can answer it. There is no short way, no such way I can suggest at least. Okay. So Akshay saying that. Hey Sandeep, thank you Sandeep. Your videos are very informative and great. Can you make videos for comparison different cloud providers with this with the compute, storage, database, networking, and use cases? Yes, that I can do. That I can certainly do. Not at this moment, but I will do eventually. Can Istita saying that can I start from zero in DevOps? What is the career opportunity for in the cloud? I have seen many people actually starting from zero and they're getting good jobs. It's not like everyone's succeeding. That's also like we have to see. But someone who is trying really hard, learning all the technologies, is capable, is getting job. Okay. And yes, there are fresher position also, so you will get a fresher job as well. So, how to perform migration from large infrastructure by Terraform? Failing to do it almost a decade previous. SREs were using AWS. Console manage any proper plan. You can suggest. See, big migration cases are always harder to achieve. There is no easy way. You have to plan for it a really great way. You need time. Take time. Plan for it. In cases of large infrastructure, you have to map each and every resources. The networking part is the complicated one. So focus on the networking part, and make sure that you're assigning proper compute, proper storage, all the assigning and all. Each component, make it module way so you can reuse the code again and again for different components. For VPC it will be different module. For EC2 will be different module. For the different services that you're going to utilize, make different modules here so you can reutilize that every single time. That the way you should be proceeding. Okay. Now, if you want, I had one large project. I'm saying very large. I cannot say the name because, of course, it's the wide level project. That I will tell you how I did it. Piyush Trivedi. Okay. So let me take a note. Piyush. Tomorrow I will try. Okay. Okay. I'll send you my that I have handled that one. Okay. Okay, I actually told that one. So the junior DevOps engineer, further which advanced DevOps tools or DevOps certification. So further DevOps, like most you can say preferable one is at this moment is AWS DevOps professional certification. After that, I would say Red Hat certification for Ansible and other tools. Those you can get certified, really get demand. Then security specific, there Linux specific certification there. Those are the things you can go forward. that I found, to be honest with it, just one good professional certification is most cases enough. Yes, Kubernetes one I will particularly suggest, because some companies asking for that. But that's like AWS, like whatever the cloud you have preference, that one. And the popular one like Red Hat one, and the uh, this Kubernetes one using like CKD, those you can go for. But every single certification, we don't have that much money to be spare if you're a family man or if you're just a fresher, right? Or junior DevOps. So maybe once you become senior, the company, most cases, you see big people giving big certification and all. They're not spending the money most of the cases from their pocket. What they're doing, they are using the credits of the companies to appear in of course, company getting profit from the certification also. They can show to other companies, these are the engineers I have, or like, these are the certification we have in the holders in the company. That's good for them. That's the reason they're giving credit to the employees, and the employee getting this many certification. Okay, but in general, if the company doesn't give the money, then only go for the best ones. Okay, AWS DevOps Pro certification, Ansible, that is Red Hat Ansible one, and the CKD. That's it. That's my personal. Again, all opinions are personal. Okay. Do certification help in getting jobs? Yes, if you have the pro level certification, like Red Hat one, CKA, DevOps Pro certification, it will definitely help. Okay, but it's not like you have certification, people will come to and give you job. No, in cases where you are applying for a job where other people also kind of applying, if you have good certification, you might get preference. It's not like that you will get the job. No, that's never the case. It's you will get preference if you can demonstrate your knowledge in that particular interview. Then only you'll get the job, otherwise not. Okay. 4 minutes remaining. At the 11, I will stop the session. All your question you might send the LinkedIn or YouTube. Yes, and whoever not subscribed in the YouTube, if you're in the watching in LinkedIn, do follow in LinkedIn. And if you're watching on YouTube, do subscribe the channel. Okay, because I post a lot of good things, guys. So what's the problem? Nilesh Kumar saying that, hi Sandeep, I just wanted to ask in real time. It's like that only one person will be there and he will handle all the deployment, or we'll have a team consulting consisting of those architects, some or then some CR folks. It depends based on the company. Some company, I know a lot of companies hire single guy and dump all the things to that guy. I've seen that. I've seen companies which have say 3 4 member team or 5 member team, and they handle all the deployment workload, the automation and things. So it's based on the company. The situation might change. No one can guarantee you when you're giving interview, ask that particular interviewer who are in the team. Try to talk with the existing team to see the compatibility. That's very good practice, by the way. That's where you can verify that. Okay. Which CI/CD tool do you think is better, Azure DevOps, Island, Jenkins, or anything else? Again, it's very use case specific, based on use case, customer budget, their existing credit to any cloud service provider. Based on that, we make the decision. Okay. It's Sahil Singh. What's your current organization? It's Griffin Online Safety, but I also work for other companies as well as a freelancer, of course. Hi, sir. I can start DevOps. Yes, you can start DevOps. As I told, you can refer to my DevOps roadmap. I have already explained a lot of things there. In interview, they expect end-to-end knowledge of DevOps in real life. Will a 4 year experienced person will handle all the DevOps switches. If you have 4 year experience in DevOps, certainly you will. But in say development only and not in the DevOps CI/CD or automation or programming specific, then there will be a problem. But if you have good programming knowledge and good automation scripting skills, you have higher chances of passing that interview. Okay. It's a very good question. This asked by Gauri Vidya that uh, what is the difference between operation specific DevOps roles and deployment specific DevOps roles? See, sorry, development specific DevOps roles. So operation specifics are more in the monitoring SRE kind of position, more in the monitoring, some minor operation related, managing it, getting the feedbacks, some minor deployment and all, minor kind, not the development specific, not very development focused. Okay, it's more the operation side. And what is a development specific DevOps tool? More of the infra automation, more of the build automation system you're developing. So you're into development plus the deployment and monitoring. So you have more responsibilities, to be honest. If you're thinking of any development specific DevOps roles, you have both the development specific activities involved as well as the operation part of, because operation part involved anyway, right? So you have to look out for that. Now I think I have to stop, and because it's already 11, and yes, there are a lot of good questions. I wanted to be honest, I want to go through each of them. Maybe I will try to go through. Um, but yeah, if see, it's not possible to go through every single comment, I will try as much as I can. If you have any queries, you can in the YouTube, you can go to you will have my email, okay, contact at the rate of sandip.in. You will find in the about section in the YouTube. In the LinkedIn also you have messaging. Like my profile is open profile, I'm paying LinkedIn to make sure it's an open profile. Think about that, so much money I'm spending. So yes, ask the questions there, and I will try to answer as many can. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone, and staying this long. I know it's 11 p.m. It's most of the cases, all my viewers are in Indian time zone. So thank you for staying this long. And if you have any questions, do send me. If you have any suggestion, do let me know. And next week, I have some plan, but I think you already know that next week I'm going to host that peer coding one from the next week onwards. So, what are kind of situation you faced? Try to do peer coding with me every Sunday. I think 7:30 I will start. Let's see how many people join. It will be exclusive to only YouTube, not in the LinkedIn. But let's see. Okay. So, guys, happy to like happy. I think holiday was over. Okay, Sunday. So happy work from tomorrow. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Good night. Bye.